Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G here. I am in the US and I'm staying with some family and friends and I'm having a great time, but I thought I would tell you guys about my first interactions with American men. Somebody has already asked me what I bring to the table. Guys, subscribe to my channel and let's have a little chat.
I'd like to propose that we bring back hissing as a form of communication. I think that when someone crosses our boundaries, or a simple should suffice. And then
Okay, guys, so let me tell you a story. I had an amazing time at my high school class reunion. I'm not going to tell you years, you can guess. You can look at me and decide 10 year, 20 year, 30 year, 50 year, whatever. So, but this is where I had my first interactions with American men after some time. And you know what? What was really interesting about this is because it was my high school class reunion, I was able to see some of these guys and how they think and developed thinking about women from way back when up until now. And it was really interesting. And that this is not at all talk about everybody that was there, but I thought it was some of the things were really interesting that really stood out to me. So, seeing how men kind of dealt with, or knowing how men or boys or whatever were back then and seeing them presently is really interesting. What I noticed, and the thing that stood out for me, is that a lot of them really do not recognize that girls or women are not just there to, I guess, entertain or serve them. We had a party boat, and one of the guys was like, there was like this little stage in the middle, and one of the guys were like, some of the women should get up there and dance topless. And most of the women are looking at each other like, really? And I was like, sir, excuse me, your boobs are bigger than almost everyone's, every woman's on this boat. So why don't you get up there and shake what your mama gave you? He became embarrassed because I did say that out loud. And that was the thing that I noticed, is that a lot of these guys, whether they were partnered or not, still really do not see women as like these whole individual beings that have existed, been existing, have lives, and have been doing things that have nothing to do with men and nothing to do with them particularly for a really long time. I was sitting, and the second thing that I noticed was what led up to this man asking me what I bring to the table. And that is any form of pleasantry, any form of niceness. Guys seem to think that means interest when you're just maybe curious and want to have a conversation. I was actually talking to some guy and we were talking about our high school crushes. My high school crush was not there, but we were talking about our high school crushes. And he was saying that he had a crush on this girl and in high school, but when he, called her on the phone and she gave him her number, and but when he called her, she wasn't like very reciprocative in conversation, and like whatever. And he's like, I just eventually realized she wasn't interested. And I was like, maybe she just was thinking that you wanted to be friends, because I actually found out like a couple guys that I thought were my friends in high school were not. And the only reason they were chatting with me is because they had crushes or interests in me in some sort of way that they never actually expressed the interest. And I'm just thinking, we're being friends. But that was not the case. So what led up to this guy asking me what I brought to the table, he was someone, and he was flirting with me. That's what was key. He was flirting with me before, and he was, like, oh, you got some pretty toes and all that, just being cute, I think, but not like overtly flirting. So I think that my curiosity in the life that he had led up until then made him also think I had interest in him. And so there was a point where we were having conversation and he had told me about his life. And I'm going to be honest with you, it didn't seem like he had a table for me to bring anything to if I wanted to. Let me just start there. Uh, but I didn't judge that. I figured, you know what, everybody leads a different path. And I think this is also representative of how women think is like, well, you know what, you look like you're on the other side of a bad time and you're going towards your good times. So good for you, brother. You know, so anyway, we're talking and he was explaining this aspect of his life that he, let go of. And I was asking him questions. And he was just like, I could do your job. And I was like, okay. And so he said it a couple of times. And I was like, if you want my job as a wife, that's fine. I'm just somebody's wife if you want that job. And he got so flustered and so offended. Like I could see his body like repulsing at the idea that he had mistakenly thought that I don't know what kind of job he thought I had at the moment. He just like he was started like almost convulsing that he seemed so disgusted by the idea that he could take my job as someone's wife, which lets me know how some men really actually see the role as a wife and mother. But he started saying, well, what are you going to do when, not if, when my partner decides to leave me for a younger woman? And I'm like, okay, I guess spousal support will be something that I pursue in that situation. And he was just like, you're disgusting. And he was like, you're just with this man for his money and all of these things. And I'm like, well, you created a scenario that doesn't exist where he's left me for a younger woman. Why is he with me? For my youth? So shouldn't I get something out of it if he's just used me for some period of time and then want to throw me out for someone younger? Shouldn't I get compensated for that? But that's neither here nor there. So he's just like, he's like, what do you even bring to the table? Can you cook? Can you clean? Can you blah, blah, blah? I was a little stoned and I had been drinking and I was like, this man is not going to ruin my buzz. So I said to him, I was like, sir, listen, I do not prove my worth to men. And I definitely don't talk about what I bring to the table with anyone. I have a man who values me and that's enough. So I had to leave that situation. Later, same day, different dude. I'm standing there talking to a group of women, and this guy comes over and he asks us how old we are. And so we're all just like, sir, we all are here for our high school class reunion. We all graduated the same year, so therefore we're all about the same age. This man proceeds to say to us, oh God, you guys are old then, which means he's also old. And he was like, none of you could have my high value sperm. Thank God. And this guy too had earlier been flirting with me, telling me, "Oh, I like your vibe. Like you got this whole Erica Badu," which I don't think I have an Erica Badu vibe, but he was just saying this probably because I have natural hair. So I'm like, "Oh my gosh." The relational things that I saw in some of the married guys were really interesting, and but it doesn't even change when they're actually coupled, because some of the relationships that the men had, you can see the women very stressed out by some of their behavior, and also how they presented their wives at times. Not everyone, but there was one guy particular. I was teasing him about something, and he made a point to try and imply that he was his wife's first everything, he said. And I was just like, okay, that had nothing to do with the conversation that I'm having. What I realized from some of the conversations that I had with these guys is that perhaps more men in the United States are actually on this manosphere incel kind of spectrum. And I don't know what side, or like I don't know how the spectrum works. It just from the conversations and some of the interactions, I could tell that a lot of them are on these spectrums of somewhat anti-woman, or I don't know what else to call it besides anti-woman, because they are not seeing women as valuable in the sense of being a woman. They see them simply far more valuable in how they service. And I know that that is the thing. But to see it in reality, to see how these men talk to women that they're not even dating. Aren't you hot? And it was like this was the standout thing for me. And I'm not gonna say all of them, but the ones that I spoke to, not all of them, Ajane. I'll talk to you about this later. But not not all of them, but it was so very interesting to see how many men are on the spectrum of this manosphere incel thing. Because the guy that I was mentioning, the one who brought me to who said, "What did I bring to the table?" I just went ahead and registered him as an incel. All of the other stories that he told me, that he was how he was living and everything like that, pretty much implied this man didn't have a table to bring anything to, let alone negotiate with a woman, negotiate anything with a woman. He just, I mean, like how he wanted her to bring the table. And that's the thing that a lot of men don't understand. I am the house. I am the house that the table sits in, and there is nothing without me. And that's what a lot of men don't seem to understand, at least the ones that I've had small interactions with, in general. And a lot of the women there were just on their grind. They were doing their business, they were minding their own and pushing forward. And it was really interesting to see that, like, that difference, in talking to people. So, guys, I am having a great time. And mind you, these were a few interactions that was there, but in the overall sense, I was in love with everything. I loved being there. I loved, having chats with old friends, and so seeing friends and people who I haven't seen. I was there with my best friend, so I talked to her all the time. But it was just amazing, and I loved seeing everyone, and I had the best time. This was like the best time that we could have had. Everybody was really there to have a good time. And even despite those little things, these were little, like, minute things that, happened at the reunion, but in the ultimate sense it was a great time, and nobody can ruin my fun. And but it was really interesting to be asked some of these questions, or said, or people say some of these things to you, and you're like, we're not even, there's no even a possibility. Why are we even talking? Why are you saying these things to me? So I just imagine that poor random women get this treatment all the time. So, guys, I'm gonna go. The kids, I don't know why he has this on. I'm not torturing him. One of the aunties gave it to him for the winter. So we will, um, we're gonna go and do some fun things together today with the boys. And I'm gonna try and record. It's just been so hard. I've been moving around so often. I've stayed already in like 2 or 3 different places in the past couple weeks. Mommy, yes. Sabe sus, porque inat un todo sulla background. It's a bit no morto. Okay. Guys, he's told me I need to go put shoes on because I might step on something, in the tall grass that's not dead. And it might, he's worried about me getting bitten. So guys, subscribe to my channel. I will be doing more recording. I'm gonna try. There's a spider. There's a spider. It's okay. Go, 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 go. So I will be doing more recording with the kids and trying to show you guys more things that I'm doing. I'm doing and okay, just 1 second. I'm coming. So guys, subscribe, and I'll be doing more videos. I'm off schedule a little bit because I've been moving around and trying to find time and space to do things that I need to do. So subscribe, and ciao ciao for now. Or maybe I should say bye because I'm in the States, but ciao. Ciao ciao for now.